Look at me.
Mm-hmm.
And we are live.
Awesome.
So thank you, Austin and Micaela, for joining us today. Austin with the Tintstitute and Quality Tints and Graphics, and Micaela, your partner. Yeah?
Yep.
Cool. So just give it a minute. Everybody will jump in and, drop any questions in the comments. And,
Sure.
what I wanted to do, we've I guess first talked, maybe a month ago or so.
Uh-huh.
And I thought you guys have so much to offer on the Tintstitute's website. Obviously, you have so much to offer in your experience and so on. So this could be an opportunity to find out more about what you guys offer and how people can benefit. Because, typically in the window film business, it's not uncommon to try and do everything yourself. So maybe you try to build your own website, you try to do your own marketing, you try to learn by your own experience and so on. But then, there's people like you out there who are putting together information, daily tutorials on Instagram, marketing services on your website that, really, I feel like hold a tremendous amount of value because you're in the industry. You're not just a marketing company, and you're not just, you're not just trying to train people. Like, you're doing this every single day as your business, which looks very successful, at least from my perspective. So, the proof's in the pudding. So I feel like it's just especially valuable for people to be able to connect with people like you. So
Right.
If you could start by tell us a little more, how long have you been in the industry? How did you get started and so on?
First off, back up just for a second. I want to make it known that Micaela's my wife. We've been married for 4 years. We've worked together for 10 years, and she's 50% of the company. I mean, she does everything that I don't do, which is a lot. As most people know, I specialize in application and doing videos, and she does everything behind the scenes. And nothing, in regards to the Tintstitute would at all be possible without her, starting from building the site from scratch. So you're right that it's common in this industry to do a lot of things yourself, and it doesn't always come out, the way you wish it would. But luckily, with Micaela, we have been able to build all of our websites from the ground up in-house and have them turn out exactly the way we want them to. With that said, I got in the industry at 19 in 2008, and I had convinced my mom to let me use my college fund to buy a business rather than going to college. Because my sister, who's 3 years older than me, she went to a 4-year school, got a degree, ended up not using it at all. Both of my parents are both entrepreneurs who didn't go to college. So I convinced my mom to allow me to use some of my college fund to buy a business. And at that time, I was looking for any type of business to buy. And I had bought a brand new truck, and I went to have it tinted. And that later on became the company I bought.
Okay. Well, that's super nice of your parents, because I can relate. My dad was an entrepreneur, and my sister is 3 years older than me, went to a 4-year college, and I was able to see my second year in college, I was able to see that, her job out of college was not her favorite thing in the world. It wasn't high paying. It wasn't what she wanted to do. And so anyway, keep going.
So I purchased the company. It's a husband and wife team. Again, it was a fraction of what my mom spent on my sister going to college. So it was by no means a big glamorous company or anything of that nature. And a big part of the purchase price of the company was the old owner, Aaron Bewley. He's still in the industry in Hawaii. So if he's watching, thank you to him. But a big part of the purchase price was him staying for an additional 3 months to train me how to do it. Because when I took the keys to the company, I had no idea how to tint windows. Wow. So as a part of the purchase agreement was he had to teach me how to tint and tint all the cars and buildings until I learned how. And if I didn't learn in 3 months and I wasn't comfortable taking over and sending him off to do his future endeavor, then I would have the option to hold him for another 3 months. But then I would owe him another large sum of cash to hold him. So I was highly motivated to learn in 3 months, which I eventually did. Now I was no means, able to do several cars a day. But in 2008, it was just a dumb coincidence that's when the economy dropped off, and we only had one car to do a day anyways. And that's about what I could do. So I was real worried about, the economy literally taking a dump on everyone. But at the same time, it was a blessing in disguise because that was all I was capable of doing.
Nice. So how did you transition? Obviously, the company grew from there. How did you transition to from being such a novice to then wanting to do training?
Well, that is years and years and years later.
Right.
I've always just had a passion for business in general. It didn't start out as a passion for the window film industry. It was just I wanted to be a businessman and work my way up from the bottom.
Okay.
So when I got into the window film industry, like I said, it was years and years and years before I ever started training someone. I was still fine tuning my own skills for the first 8 years or so. But things really took off when I met Micaela. She was going to college here in San Luis Obispo, California, and she graduated and she got a job here locally, and she can tell you more about that in just a minute, but she got a great paying job. And, we were camping one weekend and talking about business, and we had talked about the idea of her coming to work for Quality. Just to make it clear, when I bought the company, it was Quality Window Tinting. About 4 years later, we changed the name, and this is what I'm going to get into, to Quality Tinting and Signs. And we didn't like the explaining everything we did in the name because we offered even more service, web design and consulting and all these other things. So we just took it all away, and now our business is just Quality. Our Instagram name is Quality Tinting and Signs, but outside and in the community, our business is just Quality. So to back up, the business really took off when she came on board. The only way to make it make sense for her to quit her well-paying job and come to work for what is now Quality was to add signs. So we added signs to the company to inflate it to support both of our incomes.
And how did you acquire the experience, I guess, with the sign industry? Was it a learn as you go, or?
100%. We bought all the equipment brand new from Fellers. And with that, just like when I purchased Quality, with the purchase of all the brand new equipment, they sent someone else to train us how to use it. And we made no money and fell flat on our face for the first couple of years learning on the job.
Okay. And go ahead.
A lot of late nights and, like he said, just throwing things in the garbage. Like, I was trying to learn graphic design just on YouTube, and we had 3 professional days of training, and then after that we were just on our own.
Got it. And I'm curious, not to jump around. First of all, for everybody just joining us now, because now we just passed that 4 o'clock mark. We did start this one a little early. So thank you to everybody for joining. Just drop some comments. This is obviously Austin and Micaela with Quality. You can go back to get the explanation to how that name came about, and then the Tintstitute. So right. One of the topics that it was serendipitously just perfect to have you guys on today, because one of the topics that came up in a Facebook group just yesterday or the day before was regarding working with your spouse and some of the challenges and possible stressful situations. So I'm curious, it's clear how integral both of you are to the business, and what challenges you guys have faced as a couple and as a relationship, or how you divvy up that work and how you keep such a productive and cohesive work relationship and personal relationship.
I think that for us, we've been lucky because we have 2 completely different skill sets. A lot of people, they might have some overlapping skill sets, and that causes a lot of friction. Don't get me wrong, we've had a lot of issues here in the company between us 2, but we don't take it home with us. I've never felt it affect our personal life once we leave the shop. But to go back to what I was saying is it's work for us because we have 2 completely different skills. I mean, I can't do anything that she can do, and she can't do anything that I can do at all. And I mean that in a very literal sense. So I think that's helped us because, like I said, if there was a couple out there that had overlapping skills, or they were competing for who's the better designer, or who's the better installer, or who's the better person at talking to customers, then it could be even more difficult than it has been for us. It's been difficult, but we love working together, and I couldn't give advice to everyone because everyone's going to have different issues.
Sure. So how do you both divvy up the tasks at work?
I install, I lead, and that's really it. And she does everything else, which is a
Okay.
lot more. There's a lot more things she does. She does all of our finances. Now I make decisions. So she'll bring me financial decisions that need to be made, but I'll make the final decision. She'll bring me designs, but I'll choose the final design, and so on and so forth.
I feel that really just is a perfect example of how, there's more to a window film business than just installing the tint. There's a lot of jobs, and, whether you're divvying up with a spouse or a team, it's important to recognize the importance of all those different positions. And it sounds like you guys have applied that. So I know there's more to the team than just you two, right?
Absolutely. And just to back up just a second, as you know, I haven't sent you an email. I don't email. Like I don't set up this this live stream. I couldn't do it. That's why she's got to be here as my tech support. I mean, she really does all of our IT, like in our whole company. If there's a computer issue or an internet issue, she's going to problem solve and figure it out. So, like I said, as you know, I haven't done that. It's not because I don't want to talk to you. It's because I don't email. I install and I make big decisions.
Understood. So who else comprises the business? Who else is involved in the business as far as staff and so on? And what are the different roles that you've assigned?
We fluctuate from about 6 to 10 team members outside of ourselves, and that includes installers and designers.
Okay. And who handle? Oh yeah.
Sorry, you froze there for just a minute.
Yep. And who handles the sales?
In-house sales or outbound sales?
New lead comes in, so I guess in-house. Let's say inbound.
We have 2 or 3 people in-house that if a customer walks in, that can handle that customer. And then depending upon what they're interested in, we'll choose someone who's the most experienced with that product. So if somebody comes in and wants to talk about paint protection, generally it's going to be Micaela. If somebody wants to talk about window film, we have several guys that can talk about window film. And if it's going to be a sign estimate, it's going to be Micaela.
And we do get so busy that what we do in our morning huddles is we do equip everyone with the ability to be able to handle any project. It might not be as good as the lead person in that department, but at times when it does get busy, we need to have everyone be able to handle different customers.
And how was that, going from you handling the customers originally, as, one-man tent shop, to then trusting, obviously trusting your wife's easier than trusting a stranger or so on, or, an employee or so on. Was that something that was difficult to kind of hand over, that sales process, or?
Yeah, and it's still a work in progress. I did train Micaela to treat customers and talk to customers the way I want her to talk to them. So I've trained Micaela in a lot of ways, just like I have any one of our other team members. But when it comes to something that I don't know about, I'm not training her on how to build a website because I don't know anything about that. I have my special expertise, which is customer service and talking to people and moving fast and making decisions fast. So that's still an ongoing process. We have morning huddles every morning with our team that includes Micaela and I, and we go over those types of things.
We do a lot of role playing, and through the years we've found what training methods work and what doesn't work. So, just telling someone how to do something and then walking away, you're going to be frustrated with the result. But we usually have them shadow, and then we shadow them, and then we kind of watch them from afar. So that's kind of the evolution of training here. And then doing a lot of those role-playing situations where, people aren't really comfortable role-playing. So it's a great way to just throw something at someone in front of the entire team and see how they react.
So do you offer that sort of training? If somebody came to you and they said, hey, I'm a one-man tint shop and I'm looking to expand, can you help me? Is that part of what the Tintstitute offers?
Yes, we offer consulting. So if you sign up for consulting, you can learn anything from us. There's nothing that we don't hold back. And that's one thing that I pride the Tintstitute on, and that is we open up our playbook to everything.
So before we jump into questions, tell me a little more about, like you said, consulting. You've mentioned websites. So websites is something that people can come to you for. It's something that I think is the backbone of any business. So if you don't have a website, this is another great option for
the
that.
Most current website that Micaela just got done building is lakeshorewindowtinting.com. She just finished that a couple days ago, and it's absolutely gorgeous.
And like just a budget, like a approximate, not for that website, but just in general, what should somebody expect to spend on a website?
Anywhere between, 500 for a super simple website. Maybe they don't have as many services and need as many pages as we have. It can go up to 5,000 for a really comprehensive site, but I would say most people that we're doing consulting for are going to end up in the $500 to $1,500 range.
Okay. And then, so we have website, we have, consulting on managing the business, hiring, training, and so on. There's marketing as well in there?
So the Tintstitute has evolved into a one-stop shop for the 19-year-old kid that doesn't want to go to college, and he comes across the Tintstitute, and he's in the living room with his mom going, "Mom, I want to start a tint shop." And look at the Tintstitute. They can show me how to do it. They can help me pick a building. They can train me how to tint. They can do our signs out front. They can build my website. It's a one-stop shop for entering this industry. Nice. And by this industry, I mean tinting, PPF. Specific. We're the one-stop shop for the person who wants to start and doesn't know where to start. I'm talking about, we'll tell you and walk you through going downtown and getting your business license. We'll help you set up your Google listing. We'll do it all with you and hold your hand, because I was that guy. I was that guy who, I can't do any of that. What I can do is sell with confidence, and I can learn how to install. But anything that has to do with paperwork, I need help.
Yeah, that's seriously super, super valuable for this industry, because, where else can you get that all in one package with the experience to back it and a real life example of the business operating? You're not guessing, hey, does this really work or whatnot?
That's it. We've went through different insurance companies. We've had different worker comp policies. We've had different credit card processing, merchant and accounts and things of that nature. Thank you. And we've done it all, and we're not the best by any means, but we can help someone who's below us. We still go next month to the dealer conference for Lumar every year to learn from the best, and we take things home and apply those to our company. And I'm here to help the people that are potentially behind us.
Right. There's always potential to learn. There's never, there's always somebody doing something to learn from. But really, really incredible that you're offering that, because, that's a life-changing thing, whether somebody takes 10 years to learn and they make all the same mistakes themselves, or they can learn that in a weekend or in a week from you and, take your 10 plus years of experience combined.
Exactly. And you said it best in the sense that we're actually doing this. And so that's one thing that I take pride in, is the fact that we are running two companies here, and they both go hand in hand. I don't ever see us doing one company without the other, because quality has now just become our case study for the Tintstitute. And I'm looking, throwing around the idea, don't hold me to it, but I'm throwing around the idea of starting another shop with a different name, just as a case study, just to go, hey, you guys, I'm going to do this just for fun. I'm going to raise the money to start the company with cash, $5,000 to $10,000, and do it just from scratch, just to show it can be done.
And you'll put it all on YouTube, I hope?
Excuse me?
You'll put
the whole blog. Yeah.
Do it. So your website, actually, jumping back to that, you do have a membership area of your website, right?
Correct.
So what is behind that door? Why should people sign up and get access to it? What's the difference between the stuff that you put out on Instagram and the stuff you have on your website on the back end? Sure.
Before we had 10K followers on Instagram, we were limited to how long our videos could be. So there's much longer videos on the membership site. In addition, they're searchable. On Instagram, when you go on my feed, it's a mess. If you're looking for one specific car, you can't search it. You have to go through all the videos. It's not a search engine. Right. Unless I happen to hashtag the right hashtag, you can't search it. So it's searchable. There's longer, in-depth videos, and there's just plain and simply more videos.
And then one thing that we've just added is an Instagram series. So we are adding the best videos from Instagram on the website so that our members have more of a benefit being able to search and easily fast forward and rewind those videos on the back end of the website.
And some of those videos you've done, like just one off the top of my head, it was a front door installation of window film one of your staff members did. I mean, a few of your videos, they have over 1 million views on Instagram, on the IGTV. I'm curious, is there anything particular that, you know, you've done to have such like a broad like appeal? And you know, there's plenty of people who have been posting on Instagram for years and years and years, and they have like 62 followers. So is there anything that stands out that has helped you get to that 10K and have over 1 million views on multiple videos?
Absolutely. And most of it comes from consistency, I think. You know, I've posted a video a day for the last 2 years, and I think a lot of it's that. You know, we all know videos just go viral. So when we're talking 5 million views, which that video specifically that you brought up has, it's at 5 million. Okay. Those aren't all installers. Those are random people coming across it. So utilize Instagram TV, because we know on TV, when you get done watching a video that you chose to watch, the next one just comes up. So you're more likely to go viral when your video's on TV, and it's nicer for the consumer because they get to watch it without having to go through the slideshow of the 10 different slides. So anyone that's trying to get a video to go viral, I recommend using the TV, not just having it on the feed. And then in addition, it needs to be entertaining to watch. That specific video that has over 5 million views, the most popular comment on that video is how passionate Ryan is when he's installing. And that's because it's pleasure. And the second most popular comment out of the 700 comments that are on that video is, "This is so satisfying to watch." And you see it now everywhere on Instagram and TikTok. They're making satisfying videos because it's satisfying. So the way he scrub pads the window and then razor blades it uniformly draws people in.
What's your opinion on TikTok? It's somewhere everybody should be, or what do you think?
Yeah, I believe everyone should be on there. Am I as consistent on there as I am on Instagram? No, I'm not. But you know, we just don't have the resources to be right now. I'm curious, you know, you mentioned 5 million views. So that video is still viral, because when I saw it, it had 1 million and change. I saw it a little while back. 5 million views, and like you said, not all those views are other installers. I'm curious, do you get a lot of customers from those videos as well? I mean, because you're obviously educating consumers out there too, people who may not be aware of window film. 5 million views. It's literally millions of people have seen that video. Yes, I do get lots of customers, but our customers are not just installers again.
Right. Right. So, I mean, the consumer awareness, are you getting customers for like commercial window film, residential window film from some of these videos that go viral, like the dual purpose?
No. But I am getting customers and able to monetize in different ways through the Tintstitute, not just from the installer perspective, but from the sponsorship perspective and from the endorsement perspective and things of that nature. Nice. Because now when we talk about 5 million people, you know, I'm looking and talking to people that are not in the window film industry, because anyone is interested in having their product be seen by 5 million people. Got it.
So I'm going to jump into the comments to see if there's any questions in here. Thanks to everybody who's watching and joining. So David Rosenberg said, there has to be one person to take the final blame if something goes wrong. So it looks like it's Austin. I mean, how do you handle, like, if there's an issue, it just comes down to whose role that issue came down with, or it just comes back to you at the end of the day?
I'm the leader. I am the leader in the company, and it's always my fault. That's the bottom line. Yeah, we do have different positions here at the company, and I am the leader.
Yeah. And
Because if I'm going to make the final decision when I want to make the final decision, it's got to be my fault, even when I didn't want it to be.
yeah. Yeah. That makes perfect sense.
And
Go ahead.
I'm not one of those guys that likes to put, big titles on small companies. A lot of one-man shows of all different industries like to call themselves CEO and whatnot. But if we had to do that, I am the CEO, Micaela's the CFO, and so on and so forth. But, those aren't our actual titles. But for those of you watching, if there's a big issue, it's my fault.
Got it. Yeah. That's like one of the Gary Vee things. Everything's his fault. Big company, everything's his fault. And it makes sense because, if there isn't someone, it's not about blame. It's more about accountability. And that accountability helps make sure things go right. Right.
And that's one of my strengths is I don't have a problem with being wrong. So let's just make it be my fault because that's easy for me.
So Tint Stuff said that's really cool, making the industry accessible for more people. I think that's really important. That's Matt Blackmer from Tint Stuff.
Sure.
What would looking back, you've both been doing this now for so long. If you could tell first day Austin and first day Micaela, if you could tell them one thing, teach them one thing, what would it be?
I always say that it would be save something every month.
And beyond the obvious, savings, expand on it. Where have you found having those savings becoming such a benefit for you?
Being able to invest outside of the industry and being able to have multiple streams of income.
Expand, if you don't mind.
Being able to take risks. So, we started a retail store. We're talking outside of the Tintstitute and outside of Quality, and it flopped, but we didn't go into debt because we had the money to do so. And, investing in real estate, you can't do that without money. There's, a lot of gurus that say, invest this, buy this with no money. No, you really need some money to get started. That's the bottom line. You need money to get started with real estate. And that's my future is real estate.
And is that something that's always been your passion? Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say that would be my number one thing is save something from everything. And really when I say that, to elaborate, I'm talking about for retirement. So I wish if I could go back to 19 years old, I wish I was starting my Roth IRA and contributing something to it to capitalize off the compound effect at 19. I started investing for retirement in a retirement account, which means you get penalized if you pull it out before 59 and a half. I started that at 26. And those, you can't get time back. That's the one thing that you can't get back is time. And when it comes to the compound effect and having that work for you when it comes to finances, it's literally priceless. You can't get that back.
Yeah. Yeah. The time is the most valuable asset we have. So that's why, going back to being able to learn from someone like you and Micaela and your business and everybody else who does that sort of thing, you're saving yourself the most precious asset, which is time, because absolutely no one that I know of can add more time. Micaela, what would you tell first day Micaela if you could instill one thing you've learned that you find most important?
So there's definitely a lot of services that we've added to the business that have been, a big money or time investment learning how to do. But there's some things that we added and we looked at each other and we're just like, why did we not start doing this sooner? So like, for example, when we've added like our ATR and CTX line way back when, we didn't know if like our customers would even be interested in paying that much more for that film. But like, it didn't require any more training from us. It was the exact same installation. We were just simply making more money. Or, for example, when we added the shaved edge option, it's an extra $60 per car. It really requires very little training to sell it and very little training on the installation side. So there's just like those simple things that we changed, and we were both agreed, like, why did we not do this sooner?
That's a bit of gold. I've never heard of anyone upselling a shaved edge option, and it sounds like a really, really, really good idea. Like that's incredible. I mean, that to everybody watching, like this is why I was so excited to have you both on. And this I feel like is just you're getting bits and pieces of like how valuable the Tintstitute and your consulting can be, because I'm certain there's plenty of shops who pride themselves in their edges, but they're not necessarily able to capitalize on it. So that's incredible. Now, you're a Formula One Select Pro dealer, yeah?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
And one of the most popular questions people ask on Facebook is typically, what's the best film to carry? Which film should I carry? And so on. Can you kind of expand on how, or like why why that's your choice? What do you like about it?
Yes, I will expand, but I want to keep it brief.
Okay.
First off, I'll start by saying that when I bought the company, the gentleman used Lumar. He showed me that Lumar is the best, and then after, the best for what we're doing. So I watched your interview earlier with Rick Tolman, and he said something I agreed with, is there's lots of different business models, and they're all great. You guys compared McDonald's to the inexpensive tint shop, and McDonald's is the biggest restaurant in the world.
Right.
And the number one wine in the world is sold out of a box, and it's the cheapest wine. So you can be a massive company and be the affordable shop. Because of our geographic area, we are in a small area, or we have, 40 to 100,000 people, depending on if you're counting the college students. But we don't look at the college students as our target market. So we're looking at like 40,000 people where we are, and they're wealthy, affluent people. So we wanted to have the highest end film that allows us to charge the premium price. And, to me, if you are a company that wants to charge the premium, you have two options in my mind, maybe three.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes perfect sense. Formula One, obviously, they have premium films, and, they have the marketing to go along with it and so on, and the support. I mean, we can go on and on. I know there's a lot of Formula One and Lumar dealers out there, and there's a lot of non-Formula One and Lumar dealers. Like you said, there's a market for everybody, and it just,
Sure.
whatever fits your shop best and whatever you like.
Sure.
So,
and
go ahead.
Expand on that just a little bit. Anyone we're consulting, I highly recommend that they listen to what their customers are saying and asking for. And again, here in our geographic area, Teslas are extremely popular. I know they're popular everywhere, but especially here.
Mm-hmm. And you're in California, Northern California, right?
We're Central California. We're 3 hours north of LA and 3 hours south of San Francisco, right on the beach. And, our customers ask for two companies, and that's Lumar and Expel when it comes to window film. So, we've chosen Lumar, and I don't see us ever leaving Lumar.
Nice. Well, I know we have some time restraints today, so I don't want to keep you guys too long. If anybody wants to get started with you, obviously, like get more information, learn more, be able to use your services. Obviously, they should follow you on Instagram, the Tintstitute, and other than that, your website. Is there anywhere else that you should direct them, or what's a good first step, I guess? What would you suggest for somebody who's saying, hey, I'm busy, maybe now's not the busiest time of the year, but I'm where's the first step? Is it jumping into a website? Is it catching up on your videos, or what do you suggest?
I recommend finding us on Instagram, the Tintstitute, and seeing if I'm the right person for you, because there's a lot of us out here now that are training people, and we all have different personalities, we all have different styles. And you gotta, I highly encourage you watch a lot of our videos before you purchase anything from us, because you want to make sure that we are the right fit for you. Because again, there's a lot of people out there training people how to do installations. We're more than that. We're training and showing people how to run businesses as well. But make sure that we're the right fit for you, and always feel free to direct message us or even give us a call.
Cool. Well, I just want to throw in one more thing before I let you go. One of the things that stood out to me when first speaking with Micaela and getting some information back and forth was just how incredibly organized you guys are. You stood out as maybe one of, if not the most organized window film company I've ever communicated with. So, I just find organization to be key, because organization saves time. Organization and efficiency go together. And I know, from my personal experience with you guys have that to offer. So I really recommend, this is something that I appreciate you guys taking the time. This isn't a commercial for you guys, but I wanted to have you guys on here because I know you can provide so much value for everyone in the industry. So, thank you both again.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having us on here, and we look forward to talking to you soon.
Cool. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on Thursday.
Thank you. Appreciate it.